on chatting to you this early in the morning. It's 6:30, but I finished my book. I finished One for My Enemy by Libby Blake. This was my library book and it's done. I didn't expect it to only take me 30 minutes to finish this, and I don't want to quite go walk Finn yet or get my day started, so I need to figure out what book I'm gonna read next. I will tell you guys more about this book and my thoughts on it because I have a lot of thoughts about this book later. It's too early in the morning for me to formulate that many thoughts, so just know I liked most of this. I have 3 books that are on my radar that I could start next. I have People Watching, which I got an arc of that book. This is Hannah Bonham Young's newest book that's coming out later this year. The cover is so gorgeous. I could start that, or I could start Kiss of the Basilisk, which is available on Kindle Unlimited. This is like a batshit crazy book. That's what I've heard about it. I think it might be fantasy. It used to be called Spit or Swallow, then it got traditionally published. And then the 3rd book that's on my radar is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. This is her fantasy debut and it comes out May 6th, I believe. I read the back of it the other day and it sounds really good. Let me read the first sentence of this. I'm still very much in a fantasy mood. Well, the first sentence of this is, what if I jumped? Oh, balanced on the edge of a sheer cliff, I stood at the mercy of the realm, wiggling my bare toes in the dirt beneath my feet. A strong gust of wind could tip me forward or backward, the slightest tremor in the earth, and I'd either fall or fly. What if I jumped? Would anyone care? Okay, that's interesting. Let me read the first sentence of Kiss of the Basilisk. I think we're gonna go ahead and say People Watching is a no for right now. I am very excited to read Hannah Bonham Young's newest book, but fantasy is sounding really good. She'd come to the bakery to deliver eggs and had gotten gossip instead. Oh, we're gonna start Kiss of the Basilisk. Kind of just want to read on my Kindle right now. So Kiss of the Basilisk is up next. We'll get to this sometime later this week. I only got a chapter into Kiss of the Basilisk. The first chapter is only like 10 pages. It was really short. I think this girl is about to go into a cave system to meet with a basilisk, and she has her own individual basilisk, and he teaches her how to please a man. I could be completely wrong. That's what I'm getting so far though. I was talking about this with somebody else the other day. I haven't really been in the mood for romantasy since reading Phantasma this past fall. I had such a bad time reading that book. Every time I see a romantasy book, I automatically assume it's going to be similar to Phantasma. I know that's not the case. And I'm not scarred. It wasn't like, no, it was bad. I did not like it at all. It was bad. I was gonna say it wasn't bad. No, that'd be a lie. It was bad. This is my first romantasy book since that one. And so far from the start, with it being like hypersexual, or it just seems like the plot is going to be about sex. I don't know how I feel about that quite yet, because I've been reading a lot of just fantasy and I've been loving this. So I don't know how I'm gonna like that. I'm on the 3rd book of the Mortal Instrument series, City of Glass. I'm listening to the audiobook of it because I got it through Libby. I showed you my library in my last vlog. I am so obsessed with my new library because I can actually get holds. My old library, this is probably why I didn't use it that much. It never had books available. You always had to wait several months for everything. Every time I went into the library, they barely had any books that I would read. This new library, they know what's up. They have everything, not only in person, well, they didn't have Six of Crows and whatever other book I was looking for last week, but they have a lot of good books in person, and they also have so many ebooks. I also get 15 holds, so it has felt like Christmas for the past week because every day I'm getting notified that your hold is ready, and then I have to delay the delivery of the book because there's too much coming to me. Anyways, they have about 25 copies of every Cassandra Clare book, and I know these are popular books, so you would think they would have a lot of copies, but my old library only had 2. 2! So I got the audiobook to listen to City of Glass. I also have, one second. I do also have the physical book. I got this on Pango Books for $5, which is incredible. I'm just bouncing back and forth between the two. Listen to the first 2 books on audio, and I just really am liking the narrators. They just make it so funny And Cassandra Clare's writing is already really funny, but the narrators have been kind of like making me fully laugh out loud. So I'm gonna go take Finn for a walk and listen to this book. I think I'm on chapter 8 or so. I'm not too far into it. I just got to a part where I had to remind myself Jace and Clary are siblings. That's me throughout this entire book. That's me throughout the last book and the end of the first book. I'm like, they're siblings, they're siblings, they're siblings, they're siblings. Stop that. Why the chemistry? I'm gonna change and then we'll listen to this. Got some new tennis shoes this past week. Some more New Balances. Previously, I've been wearing these New Balances. I have run these into the ground. They have holes all throughout them. So I went and got a newer pair, and I think they're called like the 90-60s or something. I got the white ones with black. I wanted the plain white ones, or they're like white and cream. They didn't have them in my size because I went like in person to the store because I needed to try them on. So I ended up getting the white with the black ones, and they have some metallic on it as well. Big fan. I'm an avid walker. You guys know that. I've been walking in these for like the past like 3 days, at least 4 miles a day, and they're incredibly comfortable. Probably gonna end up getting a second pair so that I can rotate between the two so that they'll last longer because I walk too much. Big fan, 10 out of 10, recommend. You ready to go for a walk?
Yeah, I'm so ready to go for a walk, Mom. Let's go.
I'm eating Georgia for breakfast, and I need some greasy breakfast food in my stomach ASAP. And a cup of coffee that tastes like borderline cigarettes. That's what I need. Can I help you? Can I help you? Why do you need to be so close to me right now? And why are you a lazy ass dog who has to lay down to eat? Oh my gosh, Ben. She said, don't look at me. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Don't show them that I have to lay down to eat. She actually never does this. I'm so confused. Don't look at me like that. I made these desserts last night. They were supposed to be date balls, but they were too sticky to roll, and I was too impatient to wait. So I made, it's kind of like a cold brownie-esque thing. It looks really bad. There's the gooey part. And then I melted dark chocolate and coconut oil for like a hard shell on top. You were really supposed to like make a ball and then like dip it in the chocolate. I was lazy. Anyways, we're gonna have Georgia do a little taste test. We're about to watch the F1 race. It comes on at 10 a.m. today. We're a little late, but we have F1 TV, so we're just gonna start it from the start. Okay, so I made this stuff. It was supposed to be a ball. Try a bite. I think you'll like it. It kind of tastes like fudge. And then it was supposed to be a ball, but it was too sticky and I was too impatient to wait because there's dates in it.
You're so good to me.
And then the whole thing's yours. I already ate some. It tastes like fudge, doesn't it? It's good.
I agree.
Next time I'll make it into a ball so then there's chocolate on all sides. I was just lazy.
It's perfect.
And I froze it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we can watch the race.
Front suspension off the car on the last lap. Fernando Alonso currently operating in 13th, was the winner on that day as a result.
Verstappen in 20th is crazy.
It's a McLaren man on top of the car celebrating, but 2 times this
So
year.
cute.
It has been Oscar
I'm
Piastri,
very happy with
who
these
was closed
results.
down.
Verstappen in 6.
Love to see it.
That's too high up.
Ooh, good.
Her name is Temperance, but she goes by Tem. Government name, Temperance.
Oh my god. Is it 4 o'clock right now and I'm about to shower, get in my pajamas, and basically be ready for bed? Yes. But I'm gonna read, so it's gonna be productive. I put some hair oil in like 45 minutes ago. I've been using this one recently. Well, I cycle between this one and then I also use this one. This one. Trying to pick books that are on my spring TBR or books that are on my shelf that I want to get to in the next couple months. I think I'm just gonna leave them out so I make them a priority. First up, every time I go on vacation, someone dies. I got this book from Thrift Books this past winter when I did like a little bit of a haul for myself for Christmas. And I've heard really good things about this. It is Knives Out inspired, but I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen Knives Out. I like that it's beach inspired on the front. That has me eager to read it because it's starting to warm up where I am. This book also has a little bit of, is that a picture? It has like some outlines like that in the book, which intrigues me. And I haven't seen too many people read this book, but one girl did recommend me this last year. Someone DM'd me and they said, hey, have you read Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies? And I said no, and they said I loved it, you should read it. And ever since then it's been on my radar. Haven't heard anything else about it other than from that person, but I am excited to read it nonetheless. Next up we have Mexican Gothic, which is not really the vibe for spring. There's a review on the back of it that really intrigued me, and it says darkly brilliant and captivating. Readers who love old houses and family secrets will devour this book. The setting itself, High Place, with its reputation for swallowing the dreams of young women, is a character in this marvelously fantastical novel, stretching from glamorous 1950s Mexican high society to the crumbling pride of an abandoned silver mine. Sylvia Moreno Garcia enthralls with the twisty tale of love and betrayal. And then last year, I bought Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. Since reading One for My Enemy, I need to tell you about my thoughts for One for My Enemy. Since reading and finishing that, I want to read another one of Olivia Blake's books that is not the Atlas 6. This is the one that's about vampires. I got this mixed up with One for My Enemy for a little bit. One of the main characters, who is a vampire and also a real estate agent, is trying to sell a house, but it's haunted. The ghost haunting the mansion has been murdered, and until he can solve the mystery of how he died, he refuses to move on. And Viola, the real estate vampire, seeks out Fox's help, who is a medium, to help her with the ghost infestation. Sounds fun! And I really liked Olivia's writing. Didn't in the Atlas 6, did in One for My Enemy. I'll Look for You Everywhere. This is by my friend Cameron, and she came out with it last year. I saw it on my local Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, and it was the first time that I've seen this book in the wild. I haven't seen it in public yet. It's a romance book, and it's set in Italy. The MMC is this girl's brother's best friend. That's one of my favorite tropes. That's one of my favorite tropes ever. Finished this morning, and I don't know what to rate it. I don't know what to rate it because the first half of it was truly 5 stars. This book is broken up into acts. It's very Shakespeare inspired. Not the act part, just like the book in general. Acts 1 through 3 were perfect. 5 out of 5 stars. And I almost want to recommend it, but say only read Acts 1 through 3, or read Acts 1 through 3, recognize them for the beauty and how freaking good they are, and then read the last 2 acts with a little grain of salt. While reading this, it seemed like she had written a short story and then a publishing company came to her and was like, we want to develop this into a longer book, so please write an additional 2 acts to make the book longer. That's what it felt like. It felt like the last 2 acts were just an addition that weren't originally there. It was just a complete 180 in momentum. This book follows 2 rival witch families in Manhattan. One of the families is the Antonovas and the Antonova sisters. There is their mother and the 6 or 7. There's a lot of them. How many sisters? There's 6 or 7 of them. And then there is the Fedorovs. There's a man who is the dad and his 3 sons. And both of these families are rivals the entire book. A few of the sisters have a few of these brothers wrapped around their fucking finger. And the love portrayed throughout some of the couples in this book is a love like no other. It was so beautiful. There was yearning. I felt the passion. I felt the devotion. I felt the true love that a few of these boys felt for a few of these girls. Like, I felt the love that was there. And especially in the first 3 acts, I was addicted. I was obsessed. And then the 3rd act closes out and the last 2 acts just felt, it was just like family politics. That's kind of all it was. Very weird. Momentum all over the place. Now let's binge read. Thank God. Thank God. I'm on chapter 5 of Kiss of the Basilisk. And so far, sex is the main thing being discussed at the beginning of this romantasy book. And I don't hate that so far. But also at the same time, I'm like, don't f this up, you know? I'm like, don't take it too far. Give me a little bit of plot. I just want plot. Please. Is that too much to ask? I just want some plot. So far, there is a little bit of plot. There is already spice. That's kind of the point. If you've read this book, that's kind of the point. Hoping more plot develops. He was her teacher and she was his student, and he was training her for a role, nothing more. That sums up everything that's happening in this book. This is why I've been using that other e-reader. It's gone. She's not working. It hasn't been working for the past 5 minutes. I hope this other one is alive. Switched back to using my Kindle for a little bit, or at least for today, because this has the pop socket on it. I need to get a pop socket and attach to this. I need something to like hook my fingers onto. Oh my gosh, it is split or swallow. I thought it was spit or swallow. Heather, you've got to get your head out of the gutter. This entire time I've thought it was spit or swallow. That's crazy. My luck has not been great. 2 videos in a row where I am not enjoying a book. Damn. I feel like negative Nancy. I'm just being honest. I don't like this book and I'm gonna DNF it. I'm 30% through. And I'm just bored, to be honest. And I see a love triangle on the horizon that I'm not interested in. And the spice, the abundance of spice in this book, I don't not like it in like a puritanism way. I'm 1, in my luteal phase, self-explanation enough. And 2, I've gotten to this point in reading where I don't really want unnecessary spice 75% of the time. The entire plot is surrounded by this girl kind of learning how to have sex, like I was saying, to be able to please the prince if he chooses her. And there's this love triangle between her basilisk, who is teaching her how to fuck, and the prince. And I'm not interested. If I'm 30% in and I'm already starting to skim, that is not a good sign. So I'm gonna stop reading this and I am gonna go back to my roots and read an alien romance. Someone commented on my last video and they said, I don't think you like monster romance, Heather. I think you just like sci-fi and alien romance. So it's time to go back to my roots and we're gonna read an alien romance, but we're gonna branch out from Ice Planet Barbarians this time. And I'm gonna read Choosing Theo because I was scrolling on Kindle and this cover caught my eye. It's a scary cover, I know, but it did catch my eye. Not in a good way and not in a bad way. it was there and I was like, whoa. I've heard good things about this book. Briefly, people have mentioned, like when I said I liked Ice Planet Barbarians, they said you need to read this series, and this is the first book in the series. I think there's 6 books out, and apparently heard from a little birdie, aka TikTok comments, that this is better than Ice Planet Barbarians. That is a bold statement. So I'm gonna go have a fun little time with Choosing Theo. This is like your typical alien romance. Girl gets kidnapped from Earth from the beginning and taken to a planet where there's a bunch of hot aliens. Ah, oh God forbid. The moment I start seeing that UFO, take me, please. Please release me from this place. I'm trying to be better about DNFing books this year that I am not really liking. It's easier said than done for me. So let's go read Choosing Theo, and hopefully I like this one. Thank you guys so much for watching today's vlog, and I will see y'all next week. Love you so much. Goodbye.